What's up, everyone? Quick little case study for you here. Alex has been dealing with a little bit of shoulder discomfort. When he's reaching out in front of him, he'll get it in the back side of the shoulder, and he has a limitation in internal rotation. When he goes into external rotation, he'll kind of feel his lat and everything pulling him down, making it hard to get back into external rotation as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you like a little plan that we're gonna give him. The first one is gonna be a breathing exercise, basically gonna bring expansion to his right chest wall. The second one is going to be a isometric stretching protocol. And then the third one is gonna be an everyday strengthening drill that he can take his shoulder through a full range of motion. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so first exercise we're doing, this one can be done daily, 3 to 4 sets, 5 to 10 breaths, and we're looking to get right chest wall expansion. Basically the ribs on the front and front right side of the body, we want to get them moving. We're gonna do that by closing the left, by elevating the pelvis above the ribs, and by taking relaxed inhales, okay? So we're gonna start out with our feet on the wall, 90 degrees, 90 here, 90 there. He's gonna go ahead and gently squeeze the ball about 5 out of 10. From there, we're gonna start to drag our feet down the wall isometrically, which should give you hamstrings right above the knees, the distal ones. Then he's gonna think about pulling his butt towards his heels. When he does that, his butt should scoop under him and his knees should lift about 1/4 inch up to the ceiling because his tail is lifting off of the ground, okay? So we do 3 reps of that. So relax it, bring it down, yep, and then do it again and get your knees to just shoot up to the ceiling. So from this view right here, you should see his knees shooting up just a little bit up to the ceiling. That's his pelvis tucking under him. That's his femurs getting kind of shot up to the ceiling outside of the sockets, for lack of a better description. Now, he's gonna take his left hand. He's gonna find those left ribs basically acting like left obliques. Go a little bit more like your whole hand's on there instead of there. Yeah, like that. Now take your right arm out to the side, 90 degrees. The angle of this can be a couple of different ways. So we can go 90, we can go here, we could even go here. So you have the option to mess around with that, especially if you have multiple sets, but let's start there. And if your arm can't get here without like a big arch through your back, then it's just even more so you need this for sure. Now, we're gonna go ahead and start off with a relaxed inhale in through our nose, keeping the hamstrings, keeping a little bit of a squeeze on the ball, keeping your back flat and relaxed into the ground and your tail scooped under just a little bit. And then he's gonna exhale as long as he can out through his mouth. This part's extremely important. So you're really exhaling. Don't just do 1 or 2 seconds, try to get it all out. And he should feel the air helping him going out because his abs are working, but also he can use his hand to gently guide his left ribs down and in. It's almost as if you're taking that part of your ribs and your pelvis and bringing them together and then keep it in there. After that, we'd like you to pause for 1 to 5 seconds, super relaxed, chin is untucked, teeth are relaxed, eyes are looking up, and then you're gonna go really slow, relaxed inhale through your nose. The position itself and doing reps and sets should take care of itself, meaning you don't need to try to clench your left abs, but at first, maybe you're doing a little bit more intent on that side to keep them. We essentially wanna get left shoulder and left hip closer together and right shoulder and right hip farther away from each other. This is gonna push air into the right side of the ribs, expanding that whole entire side. The other thing that you wanna think about is why we're doing this. Again, limited shoulder IR, we have a lower right shoulder in posture pictures, and you can even just think, you can just see it on a side view picture that we have the chest that's like smushed in and turned right. So we're trying to get that area to inhale and fill up. You get those ribs moving, and then all of a sudden motions like this and this are a lot easier to get because they're not getting stuck. And you can even try that on your own. You just smush here and do this, it'll feel like crap. If you go up like this, and then if you can get yourself up, you'll be able to get it much nicer, especially if you can get some rib, movement in those ribs. So this is, again, something you can do every single day, 3 to 4 sets, 5 to 10 breaths, pause after each exhale. And this is something that is best done earlier in the day, especially if you're gonna sit down at a desk for a while. Do it first so it sets you up for success. Let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise number 2, we're gonna do some isometric loading in our end ranges. So we're gonna put them in this classic sleeper position. We wanna make sure that we're not shrugging, that you're keeping the shoulder and the back side of the shoulder in contact with ground. You're gonna take your hand and you're gonna put it on your forearm, not your wrist. We're not trying to load the wrist, we're trying to load the shoulder, so that can make a big difference. And then you're just gonna go ahead and guide it down so that the X on your bicep is rotating towards the ground, and that should put you in your end range where you feel a really nasty, uncomfortable stretch on the back side of the shoulder. We don't want to feel anything in the front, especially anything pinching. That would be the closing angle, and that's not what we want. If you do feel that, get out of it, you're not helping yourself. A lot of people just need to make sure that the back side of the shoulder stays down, and then just start off a little bit less range of motion and you'll be good. So you're starting here, first thing is 2-minute stretch. Breathe through it during your 2 minutes. Try to exhale really long and think about the back side of your shoulder relaxing. As it lets go, you should be able to let this go a little bit more. This tissue in the backside of the shoulder will hold you into that position and not let you get clean internal rotation. So that's why we're working on it. Once you're here for 2 minutes, you're gonna go into a nice good breath in, exhale everything out. Inhale, fill up like you're gonna pick up a heavy weight, and you're gonna start to tension the tissue that's stretching. So the backside of your shoulder, you're gonna tension as if this motion was trying to happen, but you're holding it down, so you're isometrically blocking it. You're gonna build that up to about 20 to 30 seconds. Ideally, you spend 10 seconds at your max effort. After that 10 seconds, you're gonna let go of that, and then you're gonna try to close the gap. Without pushing your hand down, you're gonna try to use your armpit, your bicep, the deep part of your shoulder, your chest, and you're gonna try to get this to close down. So you're gonna try to use that 20 to 30 seconds. It should feel like you have no idea what you're doing, like you cannot contract that tissue in that range. That's perfectly normal at first. And then you're gonna, after that 20, 30 seconds, put that back on, sink into it, take a couple of breaths. For Alex, we're gonna have him do this once a week, 2 if he feels up for it, but at least once a week, and just have a lot of effort on it. It'll go even better if you do it after the first exercise and before the third exercise, but at least once a week with this. You can just do the right side for him. Other people maybe want to do both, but we're going to keep it simple. That's how we're going to do the sleeper stretch. And after that 3 to 5 breaths after the second contraction, just let go, slowly get out of it, or you can even resist yourself and fire out of it. Okay, for our third exercise, we're going through a sideline shoulder car. Really like this to build up a lot of strength, especially in the side of the shoulder, because gravity's coming straight down. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna straighten out his elbow and his hand, and he's gonna go ahead and start off with his palm up to the ceiling. He's gonna make sure his elbow stays straight as he reaches forward, and then eventually goes up and around. As he goes, we're gonna emphasize that rotational capacity of the shoulder. So as he goes through it, I wanna see his elbow and bicep rotating without shrugging and reaching back. So he's gonna keep trying to spin here, spin, spin, spin. You should feel like he has a little bit more room after the breathing drill and the sleeper, especially so if you did these all in a row, as they should be done for the most part. You should be able to really reach farther back there with the hand staying down. So this is internal rotation. And then on the way back, as you go through it, you should feel a little bit smoother here versus having to fake and shrug. And you can see that the shrug and the chest compression as compensations are exactly what we addressed in our first drill, right? So we can do this every single day. It's a great exercise. Obviously, just maintain your shoulder joint, whether it feels great or not. But we can also end up adding a small weight, whether it's a ankle weight that's on his wrists, an Indian club, or a light dumbbell. Obviously be careful, some of these positions are pretty difficult, especially with the weight, but sideline is probably the easiest one to progress with weight. So just emphasize you're going through that with a lot of intent behind the rotational components. You're not compensating. I have that little wedge under his left abs to also help him, give him feedback. If he goes and hikes up his right hip and drops his right shoulder, he's gonna feel himself on that wedge. If you wanna do that, you can use a towel. It's not necessary, it's like the 1% little constraint that could help. But ultimately, have your neck secure. If you want, you can have your feet on the wall and just think about going slow and steady as you go through it, okay? We can do 5 to 10 reps, is great. Do as many as 15, and again, progress with weight over time.